All right, Corey. So thanks so much for joining us. Did you want to start with maybe introducing yourself and what your role is at the Local Guys?
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, absolutely. So my name's obviously Corey, surname Artz, Artz, A to the Z, mate. And my role is a pest control technician on the Gold Coast area. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, great. No worries. Well, I just wanted to, I thought we'd get to know your story a little bit and your journey so far and how things have been tracking in your business. And did you want to maybe start with us and let us know what you were doing before joining the Local Guys?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Yeah, mate. So I was actually, funnily enough, a car salesman for 25 years on
Wow.
the Gold Coast. So I come from that, I suppose, that customer service background sort of thing. And funnily enough, I have three sons, Caleb, Ethan, and Lockie, who are 26, 25, and 21, who are all car salesmen as well now.
Wow.
And I turned 50 last year and had a bit of a midlife crisis and wanted to get out of the industry. And I'd had a little bit of experience with chemical sales, which kind of led me to pest control. So,
Yeah, right. Okay. What was the car sales industry like?
brutal.
Was that?
Brutal in a word. It would look. It was very when you. I suppose what I say to my boys and my three boys are all very successful now in car sales. One of my sons runs a Hyundai dealership on the Gold Coast, and he's only 26 years
Okay.
old.
Yep.
But it's a young man's game. It's very, very, very long hours. You work every Saturday. You get phone calls after hours. It's just you're constantly on the go. There's no you're constantly going, mate. There's no breaks.
Really?
If you have lunch, you have lunch. If you don't, you don't. Like you sort of just you deal with it, sort of thing. Good money, like it's fantastic money for young kids. The boys are all doing really well, sort of thing. But no, I think I just had that midlife crisis when I turned 50, and really just had that real desire to work for myself, I guess. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. I my only experience with the car sales is my father-in-law telling me that he went for a job once, many many years ago, as in the car sales industry, and he did one day at it, and I think it was partway through the day, and he said it like the word brutal comes to mind massively because he was just saying it was just run like a complete like army regiment, and it was like you sell, you sell, you sell. Like we don't care whether you breathe, we don't care whether you eat, you sell.
Right.
Like if you, yeah, and he just
It
couldn't
is.
believe it. He was in absolute shock.
Yeah, it's surprising actually, like in the 25 years that I spent in the industry, how many guys and girls I seen come in for a day and just quit. So generally they last one day or they're in it for life. And I was in it for life, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well. Yeah. Kept you going well. So I'm guessing that would have you would have developed some pretty thick skin going through that for
Yeah,
such a long period of
you
time.
do, mate. You become very broad shouldered, Jared.
Yep. Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine.
You do.
So then, what was because quite often I speak to people, and they're in a position where you would have been there for so long, and it sounds like you were earning some pretty good money on there. Typically, there has to be a certain pain point that gets to people where it's just. Sometimes it's a slow build up to it, or other times it can be one incident or whatever that ends up just going stuff this is not for me, and I have to jump out. Because to jump out of something where you're getting paid a good amount of money, it's paying the mortgage and looking after yourself and your family and all the rest of it. Typically, I find when people jump from one career to another, it needs to be a big enough pain point for that to happen. Did you have anything in that regards where it was like that, or was it just a slow build up over the?
Oh, I think it becomes like, to be fair, I left the industry a couple of times.
Yep.
It's
It just kept pulling you back in.
yeah, exactly. Like it's very stressful on your marriage. So my first wife and I obviously separated, sort of thing. I'm not going to blame the car industry, but I guess it's just the long hours, the stress, and even the bad habits you can start to come up with, sort of thing. Like you're going to the boys, you're drinking, you start to do things that are probably not ideal, sort of thing. But you're living that. You're making a lot of money, I guess, and you just it's
You're just in that world.
yeah, exactly, mate. That's right. Yeah, and like I said, I don't begrudge the younger kids. Like my three boys are all doing very well. They all make a lot of money, and they're happy in the industry. So good
Yeah,
on them,
I
sort of
guess you
thing.
get to a certain age point, and then, as you say, you call it a young man's game, and you start to mature a little bit, and then you go, I don't want to be going out X amount of times a week and getting smashed, and I don't want to be living this
That's
fast
right,
paced life.
mate.
There must be something else
And
out
working
there that's
Saturdays, like
not so.
working 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock
Yeah.
every Saturday. Like, yeah, nah.
Wow.
But mind you, I don't
Yeah.
mind doing it. I'm happy to work 8 or 6 Saturdays now while I'm working for myself, because I can make a decent income, if that makes sense. But when
Yeah,
you're
and
doing
it's
it
on
in the
your own
car
terms, I
industry,
suppose.
like you sell a car, you get paid. You don't. Like it's that simple, sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. No, that makes sense. Okay, cool. No worries at all. Um, and so you obviously decided that you wanted to leave the industry. What was the reason for looking at starting your own business over, going and finding another job? Whereas obviously could be a lot safer and more secure, and what you sort of know, you could have easily picked up another sales role, or even if you were sick of sales, another account manager role or something in that same sort of field. What was the reason for looking at small business ownership?
Yeah, so funnily enough, I did actually do an account manager or business development role with a company called Car Groomers. So for 2 years, I was traveling around Australia.
Car detailing, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So commercial car washes mainly, sort of thing, but car detailing, that sort of thing. So I was pretty much traveling the country, selling car wash chemicals to car wash owners and that sort of thing. And when I was in, funnily enough, Adelaide, I was working with a contractor down there, and he was supplying chemicals to a pest control franchise. And I was looking at the price, I guess the prices he was selling the chemicals for, and then I was looking at the price of pest control um, treatments, and I thought, whoa, like this is pretty cool. Like there's got to be something in this. So I started to delve a little bit more and spoke to a couple of pest controllers on the Gold Coast and that sort of thing. And I had a lady friend that I was working with. Her dad owned one of the biggest pest control companies on the Gold Coast, so I spent a bit of time with him. And I actually looked at buying a car wash. I looked at buying a pest control franchise, and looked at buying a commercial cleaning business, and everything just everything sort of lent towards, I suppose, pest control. I made the phone call and spoke to Renee. And
What was the decision making between, if you're weighing up cleaning and then buying a car wash and then pest control? Why did pest control win for you?
it was easy, mate. It was doing something different every day. Easy, like just different every day. Whether you're chasing a mice or a rat or a possum, you're killing spiders, cockroaches, ants. I really liked the idea of doing something different every day. I didn't want that monotony of doing the same thing over and over again, like I was in the car industry, selling a car. G'day, how you going? My name's Corey. Blah blah blah. I just wanted to do something different every day, and I really, just that really that was my first thing, I guess. And then I guess when I first rang Renee, I just really liked the just the like just the local boys being that family sort of business sort of thing. And I love this sort of thing, because I did speak to a gym, so I spoke to James Home Cleaning as well with their franchise and that sort of thing. But I just the family values were the big thing that really brought me to the local guys, I guess. So because I'm a family man, I've got 3 boys, and my family's is just everything to me. So yeah.
Yeah, Yep. So you mentioned Renee. So obviously, Renee and Sean run the pest control division. So did you want to? How's the experience been? Like, obviously, you spoke to then their husband and wife, obviously, here in South Australia. So I know Renee looks after a lot of the initial contact when you're speaking with someone, and then Sean is a qualified pest controller that provides the technical support. Have I pretty much summed it up? I mean, how's the experience been with, I guess, both Sean and Renee in that regard?
Yeah, good, mate. They're fantastic, mate. Like Renee calls me every Thursday, has a yak, and just checks up on me. Like it's not like, and again, I can't obviously compete to another franchise sort of thing, but I can't imagine someone calling you every week and just having a yak and just seeing where your head's at, how you going, hey, what can we do better? What can we do to help you guys out, sort of thing. And I'm lucky in that I've obviously got my Haley as well. So without her, I couldn't do it, mate, because I don't. While I'm a fantastic salesperson and I can sell myself, when it comes to the paperwork and invoicing, that sort of thing, I've got no clue. But I'm
We were
lucky
just
enough.
talking about computer
Yeah,
skills.
yeah, I can't do it, mate. Like I'm struggling to set this meeting up. But Haley's awesome, mate. Like
Yep.
she does all the back end stuff for me. I've just got to all I have to worry about, mate, is calling the clients, getting the appointments, getting out there, doing the job, and come home and going, hey, sweetheart, can we invoice these people? And she does it. Like
Yep.
she's great. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I was just speaking with one of the other guys last week, and I can't remember who it was now. I know who it was. It was Phil from here in South Australia, and he's got his partner Elle as well. And yeah, they were just talking of how beneficial it's not a requirement, but it can be very beneficial when you've got your partner involved in the business, and tend to be you're good at certain aspects of the business, and then your partner is very good at other aspects of the business, and it's a very good yin yang if you've got that.
Yeah, I honestly I couldn't do it without her, mate. Like I could not do it without
Yeah.
her. She's it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. She doesn't want to go out and kill spiders and pick up dead rats and that sort of thing. And I don't want to do the paperwork. It works perfectly. Pretty much like Renee and Sean, I guess. It's very similar sort of relationship. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So tell me, mate, how was the the onboarding experience as far as, like, I know with pest control, the licensing can be quite daunting. We know it's definitely, out of the three divisions that we've got, the most extensive training that's required to be licensed. How did you go through that process? You did the in-classroom training? Or
Yeah, I did, mate. Yes, as far as the training went, it was fantastic. Like it was just so thorough. It was quite daunting when you first go in, I guess, because they start talking about the makeups of animals and blah 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 and pests and this sort of thing. So it's almost like, oh yeah, I don't need to know this, but I guess now I'm starting to learn you do. Like it's starting to fall into place as to why they why they teach these sort of things. It was incredibly thorough. The practical side was also great, but I'm so happy that I went down and spent that 2 weeks with Sean, because it brought it all together, I guess, because there was also lots of things that were probably, with absolute respect to MPL, probably a little bit of overkill and that sort of thing. So Sean was able to simplify the process for me, sort of thing, and just put my mind at ease to say, hey, you know what, mate, that's not rocket science, mate. This is what it is. You see the pest, you kill it, blah blah blah. So
yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, you get that really detailed technical ability in the licensing, and I think that it's critical to get that hands-on experience, and that's obviously the 2 weeks training is part of that process with joining the local guys. Is then you can go out to real clients, you can do real jobs, you're getting that, that taste on being out in the field and doing the actual job properly. So then when you do go home and you're going out and you've got your first lead and you're going out to do your first job, it's not quite as scary as what it might be if you had only that technical side and didn't have any of the customer side of stuff and that warm introduction to it. How was that first job that you did
It was
by
scary.
Yourself when you got home?
It is actually scary. But I think what it is, mate,
yeah.
it's coming from, like, I'm coming from from a car salesman for my working life to a pest control technician. So really, while it's scary, I've got this philosophy. I've got the 4 Ps: the person, place, product, price. Right. So when I first speak to a customer, so you got 40, 30, 20, 10. So it's person, place, product, price. So if the customer likes you and you do the right thing by the customer, and I'm talking from the initial phone call, so you educate the customer. You show empathy to their problem, that sort of thing, and you try to educate them. It's the 40. It's exactly the same as selling cars. It's like anything. I'm selling a product. So 40% of their decision is made by whether they like you. 30% is made by who they're doing it from. So in this case, it's a local guy. So where I'll often say, hey, look, refer to my Google reviews. La-di-da-da. 20% is obviously the product, and then it comes down to 10% for the price. So if I do the right thing by a client, I present myself professionally, I educate them as to what I'm going to do. So I tell them what I'm going to do. I tell them what they can expect and what's going to happen and that sort of thing. That's 40% done. And then if I educate them about the local guys and where we come from, that sort of thing, there's 30. So I'm already at 70%. So 70% of sales already done. So now it's just about the product, which are all obviously approved by the pharmaceutical, or I can't remember what it's even called, to be honest, mate. And the price becomes almost irrelevant. And even though our prices are incredibly competitive, when you give them a price and you've laid their groundwork, they say yes, and you assure the business. So every time I make a phone call, say, hey, righto, this is what it is, blah blah blah. I get through everything. When would you like that book? When would you like to book that in for? Not would you like to? When would you like to book that in for? And that's something that's really important to me. So yeah.
Yep, you're assuming the sale.
You assume the sale every time, mate. Every single time.
I think you're. I'm going to steal a couple of these things if you don't mind.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to repackage them and call them my own. This is great. This is fantastic. Well, no, I couldn't agree more with every point that you're making, and I think that stems on nicely to the next point that I was going to speak to you about. Is one thing that you're quite well known for, especially here in the support centre, is your very high reviews. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, but you've already started to lay the foundation on that. I think it's painting a little bit of a picture for people that are watching this in regards to why you do get so many high reviews. I think you're one of our highest reviewed franchise partners across all 3 divisions, and a huge amount of great work to you. And can you maybe talk on your philosophy on that? Because I know that that doesn't happen by mistake. I dare. Well, maybe it does. Maybe it's just naturally who you are. But do you go into? Clearly, there's some sort of intent that you go into with every single customer, or some sort of philosophy that you go into with every single customer that has that natural, overwhelming satisfaction from the customers. Can you talk about why do you think you get so many solid reviews?
It's asking the question, mate. It's that simple. So if I speak to a customer from the moment I meet and greet them. So my philosophy, and I've spoken to the girls, who, by the way, are absolutely fantastic in the office about this. I know we have a 2-hour rule. I've got a 5-minute rule. So I drop everything. I drop tools, and I'll ring a client straight away. And even if I can't have an in-depth conversation, I say, look, guys, I'll give you a call back in 5 minutes, sort of thing. It's making that experience for them, it's educating them. It's telling them what you're going to do. It's telling them what they can expect. And it's asking for the review. So it's saying, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, hey, look, if you think I've done a fantastic job, would you mind doing me a huge favour, which is going to help me grow my small business? I always mention the word small business or small family-run business. Would you mind giving me a review on Google? And could you do me a bigger favour? And if you've been unhappy with anything I've done, can you please let me know and allow me to fix it?
Yep. I love that.
It's that simple, mate. Like it's just asking the question.
And that's just your soundbite, isn't it? You just put that soundbite. You've got that soundbite in your brain. You just say it every single time. You probably don't even think now because you've said it that many times.
It's in there, mate.
It's just rinse and repeat
every single time.
Yeah. No, I love.
And they're not all going to, but I've got a fairly good percentage that do and will. And that's ultimately where my referrals are going to start to come from.
Can I read you one of your reviews?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
I've got one here that I've copied from before, and I thought it might give people a bit of a.
Is it a good one?
A hint on. No, it's -1 star. So the review goes, phone the local guys pest control around midday on a Saturday, and it was a long weekend. By 1 p.m, Corey called and was at my place by 3:15 p.m. A good hour's travel. What have we got here? Great service and guided me through the whole process. He arrived early and even helped me mow the lawn.
I did. I mowed Nicola's lawn. Didn't even charge it for that.
I can't thank you guys and Corey enough. Having a property management background, I truly know what service looks like. I will only ever use this company again, both personally and professionally into the future. If I could give you 10 stars, I honestly would. Corey had a good sense of humour and pitched in where many others wouldn't. Thank you so much, Nicola Allison.
Well, I've done both her neighbours since then as well too. So,
wow,
yeah.
And isn't that interesting? All right, like I mean, clearly, we like going and assisting in mowing the lawn is not what we expect people to do. But isn't that incredible that now you've done both neighbours, because you know what you've created there? You've created an absolute screaming advocate for the local guys, but also specifically for Corey and his small family-run business. And anytime anyone speaks to Nicola at a party or anything to do with termites or pest control in general, whose name do you think is going to be thrown out any chance she gets?
Corey.
Yeah, it's just and I think that sort of, not only, I think you've covered both base points there. One, obviously, it's about asking for the review. It's having a good way to be able to just friendly ask that. But no one's, even if you ask every single person and you've provided a terrible service, no one's going to, they'll just go, yeah, sure, mate, sure, and never do it. But, if you're providing customer service like that and you're a likable, friendly person and you know your stuff and you're going to that 40, 30, 20, 10 rule.
Yes, correct, yeah.
I think that's laying all the foundation to have not only a lot of reviews and positive reviews that come out of it, but ultimately a very successful business. Because, as I said, you're going to have now, and I'm sure there's a bunch of Nicolas out there that are all saying the exact same thing, and then you just put that over a layer of time, and before you know it, it's just people were just screaming your name, and you're just a very busy man, which is a great place to be. So, well done, mate. I think that's an incredible snapshot of the business that you've been growing over this time. So, I thought it would be great to share that one.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I wanted to ask you, what's one of the most challenging things, do you think, about working for yourself? You've come from, having a job for however many years, and now you're on this new journey of business ownership. What have you found one of the most challenging things is?
The J curve. The dreaded J
It'll get you every time.
Oh, it does my head in, mate. Like, seriously. But I guess it's just
Can you tell me what the
because
J curve is?
it's because I set fairly high standards sort of thing. So I've always been reasonably successful at what I've done, but it's also
Yeah.
me trying to put a lid on expectations. So going, you know what, Corey, like, it's a slow burn, mate. You've been in it for what, 4 months now. Give yourself 12 to 18 months to build it, sort of thing. It's not yet,
Yeah.
mate. You know what? Rome wasn't built in a night. It's one of those things. You just gotta deal with it. You got to take the good with the bad. You can have good weeks, you can have bad weeks. It's just me accepting the fact that, hey, it's not going to happen overnight, and I also need to do my part as well when it comes to promoting myself and my brand and that sort of thing. So, that's probably.
I think that's one of the. I think you've hit the nail on the head, and I think that's one of the things that's hardest for people. Is it's that delayed gratification. You might be working so hard, and it's you're exactly right. It's like Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to get that business to a place. Like, let's say, Sean, your divisionals, who's obviously got like very large business now. He's got his younger brother Nathan working for him, and he's doing, it's gotten it to a very large place, and can't keep up. But he's 7 years in, so it's on that J curve that goes like this, and he's at this point over here on here, and you're still at those early days. Obviously, I think what are we in now? 5 or 6 months?
4 months. Like, it's
4 months in.
Mate, I mark myself too hard, mate. Like, it's 4 months. Like, man, like, it's 4 months. Like, come on, Corey.
And are you starting to see now? Are you starting to see some? You start to, because I know in my journey through business ownership, and when I was on the tools, I always get told I was on the stickers, but when I was on the tools, you would start to see little patches here and there, and then you'd go, because I know you sent me a text message a couple of weeks ago, and there was a record week there, and it was some impressive numbers there. So you start to see little things like that, and you go, that's, quite often someone's month's wage that I did there. Like, okay, cool, that one's, you start to see those little things, and then you go, all right, cool, I just need 51 more weeks like that one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like picking fruit, mate. Like, you just, you're going to have your good weeks, you're going to have your bad weeks, but you've got to be patient. You have to be patient. And I get that now. I didn't at the start, and there was a couple of times there I'd crack them and that sort of thing, and why's this not working? Why's it not working, sort of thing. But sometimes you've got to take a look in the mirror and have a good look at yourself, sort of thing. Like, what can I do better to fix it, sort of thing. So But I know it's going to work. I've got absolutely 100% no doubt that I'm taking this to the next level, and it's going to work for me. I 100% know that's going to be fine. So
and I think that's the thing, right? Like, I think you see those people that kind of, it's like the new plant or whatever is just about to break through the surface, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of stuff happening underneath, and people don't sort of see that. So then they go, don't worry about it. And they try the next thing, and then they hit that same resistance, and then they go through, and they just keep trying different things, and they spend all this energy trying 20 different things, and they're wondering why nothing's working. And it's like, you need to just turn it off sometimes and just keep working the same plan. So you're right, no worries. And I think that's, we can see that, we've seen that because we obviously watch your scorecard, and we watch your business as it's growing and all the rest of it. And, you've just gotten through a winter. and so now we're in spring here now, and things are starting to ramp up and get busier and stuff like that. So it's great to see. I think that you see the wobbly legs of people. I guess it's like riding a bike or whatever, and everyone wobbles their legs at the beginning. And they either fall over or they just kind of like mentally trust the process and then keep going. And we can see it's like starting to straighten up and it's heading in that right direction. And then you start to see those good things like those record weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're exactly right, mate. And it's the same thing. Again, I keep referring to car sales. It's the same thing. Like, if you follow the process, you'll be successful. There's no ifs, buts, wheres, whys, and maybes. If you do the right thing and you do what people tell you to do, in the organisation, you're going to be successful, and I know I'm going to be successful. Like, I will not take no for an answer. So,
yeah. So that was one of the most challenging things. What do you find that's one of the things that you've enjoyed the most about being a small business owner?
I love working myself. Like, just going to work. Like, even if I work the same hours as I worked previously, I'm deciding that. Like, I'm making that decision, sort of thing. I'm making better money per hour, sort of thing. I love meeting different people. Like, that's just the way I am from my sales thing. I just enjoy building relationships and building rapport and meeting these new people and that sort of thing. And I love making money, mate.
Why not? Will do.
Just that freedom, just that freedom that most afternoons. And I advertise 7 days a week, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. That never happens, but most afternoons I'm home by 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like I'm
exactly right.
Yeah. So
yeah, and that's what I used to love about being on the road is, just that flexibility. You can be out there cranking the music, doing your own thing, and as you say, you go out and pump out a few sites in the day and stuff like that. I used to enjoy that drive home where I felt like, I've achieved something today. I've made the money for my family. That's a tick in the box for dad or husband or whatever I need to do. I've done my part. I definitely, I'm now chained to a desk, and I always get the girls in the office here giving me a hard time.
Mate.
Come on. Yeah. All right, no worries. Well, I just wanted to finish up and try and add as much value to anyone that's sort of watching this who potentially might be looking at starting their own business or has gone into business for themselves and is looking for new advice on what they can do. You've already given us some great advice. As I said, I'm going to steal a couple of those and call them my own.
You're welcome,
what
mate.
sort of advice would you? What sort of advice would you give to someone in those early days of business? I mean, for someone like myself or even Sean or whatever, Sean's 7 years on, I'm a few more years on in business than that. What would you, and it's hard for us to remember back to those early days because it was so long ago, but for you, it's still fresh and you can actually pass on a lot more wisdom than we probably could because it's still fresher for yourself and you remember it a lot clearer. What sort of advice would you give to someone in that regard who's just getting things going and all the rest of it? What's some of the best advice you could help to sort of go
well, firstly is to go with your gut every time.
Yeah.
And don't.
I agree with that.
Have unrealistic expectations of yourself. Like it's going to be a slow burn, and your first small period is going to be a struggle. Like it's going to hurt. You're going to burn some money and that sort of thing. But just look at the big picture. It's all about the big picture. Just do the right thing. Treat your customers the right way, as you'd expect to be treated, I guess, sort of thing. So just be kind to people. Like it's not hard. There's not enough kindness in the world nowadays, Jared, unfortunately. So, which is a sad reality, sort of thing. But just be kind to people. Be empathetic to people. Educate people about what you're doing and understand people. That's pretty much it, mate.
Yep.
So,
It's not hard, is it? It's just
It isn't,
putting
mate.
good vibes out there.
It isn't for blokes like
Yeah.
us, obviously. Some people it is, but no. It's actually a lot easier. It's a lot easier than
Yeah,
it is to be, a jack. Like, just be nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I think I say something very similar all the time. I think it's not difficult. It's very easy. It's very simple, but it's not easy. I think that all you need to do is add value to people, and then that's all people are looking for, is an exchange of value.
Yeah, that's
If you
right.
can
It's
add
not
value,
rocket science,
then
mate, is it? Like,
it's going to be completely fine. Yeah.
be kind.
And clearly that's what you're doing out there, mate. That's again why we're here, seeing all that feedback back and seeing some great results and scorecards and stuff like that. So great work, mate. Keep it up. You're doing a fantastic job, and we can't wait to see where the business is going to be in 12 months' time, 5 years' time, and onwards. So you're doing a fantastic job up
Thanks,
there.
mate. And if you could do me a huge favour, mate, and just pass on my thanks to all the guys and gals in the office, mate. They're awesome, mate. They could not do more to help me. They're fantastic.
Of course,
so
not a problem.
love them.
Beautiful. No worries, Corey. Well, thanks for spending some time with us, mate. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Jared. See you, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Bye, bud.